Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. What I got today is a quick video on refinishing a couple rifle stocks. Got two M1 Grand drill rifle stocks that I'm refinishing as a project. We'll just take you through some of the supplies that you're going to need and some of the steps, nothing too in depth. So let's get into it. Basically what I got here is two stocks. One of them has a lot of oil soak and not so much finish on it, and the other one's got like a wood varnish on it. I'm going to be using a environmentally safe kind of finish remover that I've used on a couple other projects around the house. And since I'm downstairs in the basement, it's going to not worry about the ventilation as much. So as you can see, there's a lot of oil stain and a lot of handling marks. Also some numbers here. For the most part, it's not going to damage a lot of this stuff, and it'll take all of this clear varnish off. The top handguard portion back here, it has like a almost like a paint on it, brown paint. You can really see it down here. It should pull all that stuff right off, as well as a lot of this oil on the surface. And then if I need to, I'll take a heat gun and blast it out of there. So let's clear off these stocks, and I'll show you just the basic supplies that I use for the project. Okay, so first and foremost, what you're going to need is your stripping agent. Like I said, this Sitchi strip has no fumes. It seems to be a real mild on wood surfaces. It works really well. I mean, in about 30 minutes, it'll pull a lot of these finishes off of the material and a lot of the oil that's soaked into the wood as well. One thing I will say, because it is so safe on your hands and everything, it's not as thorough. So usually about 2 coats of this stuff will work. That'll get you to where you want to be in your project. That can be picked up at like Lowe's or pretty much any hardware store. In order to apply it, what I got is just some like dollar paintbrushes. I've used this one on other projects before. I've got just a bag of rags. Got this little paint tray with a toothbrush to get in some hard to reach spots. That Sitchi strip is like neutralized by water, so I also like to have just a bucket. I really fill this up with warm water before I get too far into the project. That way I have still warm water afterwards. Oh, I also get these little scrub pads. There's not really any abrasion to this besides just the natural abrasion of material, but there's no like embedded like sanding material in it. So it's just kind of a scrub without having to damage the wood too much. I'm not looking to sand these stocks that much. I want to keep the diameters of the stock and not alter that too much. So that'll be just for the stripping portion. After the whole stripping portion is complete, just some sandpapers, tack cloth, some wet sanding if I need to really do any of that stuff. This is what I had basically laying around. One thing I did forget is the aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is a great barrier between the Sitchi strip and any surface that you're going to be working on. So the basic process would go, I would take the Sitchi strip, paint it onto this with a thick coat, let it set for about 30-40 minutes, come back. You can take something like a card, scrape it all off is like what it says, but it works more on surfaces that are flat, so there's not too much of that and you'll be sitting here scraping forever. So what I like to do is either just the rags, or I get the scrub pad and the warm water, and then I just kind of give it some scrubs, dip it in there, give it some more scrubs, get all that Sitchi strip off. And then let it set, give it a little time to dry, and then do it all over again until I feel like it's not pulling anything else out. I do have a previous project here. This is a Finish M39 stock, and I've done a few coats of it on this. This had really bad oil soak here in the wrist area. But as you can see, especially right here on the palm swell here, it's brought a lot of that out. Now this is after some work with a heat gun. But for the most part, a lot of the oil soak has come out of it, and there wasn't much finish on it to begin with. The biggest thing was dirt from handling and just layers of stuff from over the years. Areas like this, that toothbrush comes in handy. You can just put a little bit on there, scrub it, let it set for a little bit, and then pull it out. Because it is moisture, it will swell up the stock a little bit, so you could lose these cartouche marks. So just something to be aware of. But that's what you can really expect your end product to be. So thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye out for the updates on this project, and yeah, see you soon.